Good Wednesday evening, everyone. I got very important weather information and the latest update on this very significant winter storm for the deep south, for the southeast, and even for the eastern seaboard. How much snow and ice will you see? We will be talking about that in today's video. And then we will give you the latest update on how significant this Arctic outbreak will actually get. So to start off the video, here's a look at the latest 18Z ECMWF or Euro model. This is the intermediate run that I like to use because it gives us the latest information on this snowstorm that is coming for this weekend and also for the early to middle part of next week. So for Saturday morning here on the 18th day of January, I want to be clear about what days we're looking at here. And we're looking at the Great Lakes with this snow that is going to be dumping over Indiana, Ohio, and portions of the Great Lakes. Most likely a rain event for the deep south and also for the southeast, since we're going to have enough warmer air coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. But the next winter storm is going to be very concerning and very different. So let's move this forward and you can see where that winter storm goes into the northeast. And then we get a reinforcement of some of that snow for New York. At this time, though, the European, or at least the intermediate 18Z run, has trended a little further to the south with this snowstorm for Sunday. If we look at the previous run, it was a little further to the north, and then the 06Z run was even further north than that. So this has trended further south, and it's a little weaker, but still expecting at least an inch or two of snow for portions of New Jersey for the Sunday storm, as well as portions of Virginia. But then it's on Monday that I'm really concerned about for that big, nasty snowstorm that develops for the deep south and travels all the way into the eastern seaboard over the next couple of days. This is what it looks like on the European model. We can see for the high plains, there is the snow that develops. That's part of that winter storm that's going to phase up with this Gulf moisture coming off from the south to the north with this Arctic high pressure system coming in out of the north. And then look what all happens by the time we go into Tuesday morning. This gets pretty concerning. We are talking the potential here of an ice storm and some moderate to heavy snowfall for the northern tier or across the northern portion of the weather system over Arkansas, northern Louisiana, into Tennessee. And this is as far out as this model goes through Tuesday 18Z, which would be about 1 in the afternoon on your Tuesday, the 21st of January. And it is showing, again, this big winter storm that develops. Everyone's been talking about this right now, and it looks like this will be significant. And as you can see here, by Tuesday afternoon on the 21st of January, that snowstorm is going to be moving into portions of the eastern seaboard, mainly for the southeast on this model. But look at all of that ice that develops down here. We're looking at possibly a crippling ice storm. Possible because it is really, really far out, and forecasting ice in the first place is nearly impossible this far out. And then unfortunately, there could be another big winter storm developing by the middle to the end of the work week next week over the southeast yet again with more ice and more snow. Now, when we take a look at the latest Canadian model, this is a very bullish, aggressive numerical global computer model, and it's been trending stronger for this Sunday into Monday storm system for the northeast. So you can see here on the map on the 19th of January here, look at all this blue here. This is snow falling across Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, into perhaps or across Pennsylvania and upstate New York. But as we go forward here in time, it is trending a lot snowier on this winter storm over upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as portions of Maine. If we look at the 0Z run from last night, it was a little weaker. And then on the 12Z run from yesterday, it was even weaker. So between yesterday's run to this morning's run, it has uptrended significantly. And then by Monday morning, that is out of the picture as it moves into Nova Scotia and eastern Maine, leaving everyone dry only before the biggest winter storm in a long time impacts the deep south. And we can see this developing really quickly for Tuesday. So very active weather pattern is setting up here. Very strong Arctic high pressure system here, 1054, 1060 millibars. That is substantially strong for this time of the year and for where it's located. And this is going to trigger very, very significant snow as well as ice down here in the orange and pink. Yeah, we're going to have an ice storm potentially or likely with this winter storm. Just how much ice remains to be seen and if it actually exists here. But the Canadian model has been very consistent on this scenario for the Deep South to get significant winter weather. And then look at here for Georgia, for the Southeast, and even for the Eastern Seaboard, big time ice accumulation and heavy snowfall. Last but not least on our list of models to look at is the GFS model. And the reason why I want to show you all this is because I don't want to cherry pick weather models here. We want to be open and honest here in the video on what models we're looking at. So the GFS model still indicates there will be that winter storm for the weekend for the Great Lakes region, for the Northeast, but that's really all that the GFS model wants with any snow at all. There is no winter storm that develops down here at all. It's not even showing that northeastern snowstorm for Sunday into Monday. This is a big, big outlier, and I do think we're trending stronger on the Canadian model. I'm favoring the Canadian and the European model in this evening's video of your Wednesday, just because out of all these models, one of the models like the GFS really not showing anything at all, not one snowstorm at all until we get into, say, Thursday. And this winter storm could be very substantial by the middle to the end of next week. So either way, we're going to have big, big winter problems. Either way you put it, either on Thursday or Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, or on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, like the other models are showing. And this would be a substantial winter storm for the Northeast. But thankfully, this is pretty far out, around 9 days from now. Now, how much snowfall are we talking amongst the models here? The European model, first of all, is showing anywhere between 3 to 5 inches of snowfall for the Deep South, up to maybe a foot of snowfall likely for the Rockies, like, say, southern Colorado, northern New Mexico. And then for the Great Lakes region, this is where we have a lot of lake effect snow that is going to be a concern. So there could be anywhere between about a foot to maybe a foot and a half of snowfall in that area. But notice this is not showing a whole lot in the way of snow for the Deep South. For the Southeast, like the Ozarks, the Appalachians, into the Eastern Seaboard. But when we take a look at our Canadian model, it is way more aggressive, the more bullish forecast of all with this video. And you can see more snow over the Rockies, anywhere between about a foot to a foot and a half. And then for the Deep South here, possibly up to a foot and a half of snow over Texas, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, Tennessee, as well as West Virginia, and then exiting on right center or right screen over the Northeast here with maybe up to about a foot to maybe a foot and a half, maybe a couple of feet of snowfall because of lake effect snow influences. And then I really don't want to show you all the GFS total snowfall accumulation, but for the sake of things, again, I want to be open and honest here, not showing hardly anything or literally nothing for the Deep South. One could even argue there's no snowstorm at all on the GFS model, although some snow does fall over the Rockies as well as the Northeast because of lake effect snow influences. But not once do you see any snow tracked down here in the Deep South versus the Canadian model and the European model. But look at this. Even the icon is agreeing with the Canadian and European model. Look at this. This is unbelievable. 3 models in a row that we're showing this, except for the GFS, showing a snowstorm for the Deep South, for the Southeast, and even for the Eastern Seaboard. See right here, a little bit of snow, and especially over Wilmington, North Carolina, could get almost a foot of snow. As far as that ice goes for the Deep South, we're looking at light to moderate accumulation. I am not going to give you exact ice amounts because we are pretty far out. I'm even being nice enough to show you all just how much ice will cover what part of your area. So if you're in the Deep South, the Southeast, and even Virginia and North Carolina, you definitely need to be watching the model trends very closely, as there will be quite a bit of ice potentially with this winter storm. Now, looking at the Canadian model, it is downright concerning, crippling ice here on this particular model, but it seems to overdo this quite nice or quite well. For the southern Georgia, the South Carolina area, you're looking at a lot of ice accumulation potentially, and also for the deep south. But you can see for the Northeast, not much going on there, of course, with the ice amounts. And then one last model, there's your GFS model. Hallelujah! Not much going on there. A huge outlier out as far as our global models are. Now, with that being said, here's a look at the very latest Arctic air mass forecast from our wind chill index, and it is trending quite concerning as far as Monday morning. We were talking about this over the last 3 or 4 videos showing you that Monday morning, Tuesday morning are the coldest dates to keep an eye on, and it's showing wind chill values -30 to -50 degrees across portions of the Rockies, the northern plains of the U.S., including, look at this, if you're in Quebec and Ontario, Canada, wind chill values almost -60, and then across much of the upper Midwest, like the Great Lakes, wind chill values -24, -30, and then even for the deep south, look how cold it might feel. Temperatures there, it might feel like in the upper teens to lower teens. And it's not going anywhere at all for Tuesday. Look at this. Very concerning wind chill values as far south as northern Texas, the Midwest, and even the deep south here. It might feel like 10 degrees outside for your Tuesday morning on the 21st of January. So yes, big deal coming. Arctic air mass, life-threatening impacts potentially with this one. Combining that with that snowstorm. Now, really quickly, I want to give you all a huge thank you for sharing the video this morning and giving it a huge thumbs up. We got that video out to now 90,000 people. I'm just speechless at this point. You don't know how much it means a lot to me. So thank you all very much. Also, I want to thank you all for subscribing to the channel from that video, which gave me 450 subscribers. Thank you guys very much for that too. Now, if you found this video really helpful, detailed, and informative, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to get all of my updates. Because of how serious this is, I am considering another 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time upload here on the YouTube channel for your Thursday. So make sure you do have all notifications enabled just in case if we do one of these in the morning. But otherwise, I will see you back here tomorrow afternoon and evening.